Uh, Here in Malibu, the sun is setting, and we've been talking about the singularity, transhumanism, post-human. And why is this important to you, you may ask? Well, I've done a 30-year intensive study of the book of Revelation and Bible prophecies going all the way back to Genesis. And I'm going to kind of move through it with hyper speed because I'm dealing with such an enormous spectrum or bandwidth of information that I'm going to have to download it to you as quickly as I can and hope that you'll be able to comprehend it. By the way, everything that I'm talking about is in my DVD series, Are You Ready for the Coming One World Government, the Coming One World Economic System, and the Coming One World Religion? Now, here's where we are. Military intelligence, the Department of Defense, both in the United States and in China and Russia and Europe, they have been aggressively experimenting with what's called transhumanism. Now, transhumanism is interspecies breeding between animal, human, and perhaps Nephilim DNA. Now, they don't necessarily believe that the Nephilim are fallen angels or demons. They believe it would be the DNA of aliens. So the popular mythology is that alien DNA is being mixed with human DNA, which is mixed with animal DNA, and that a substitute story for Genesis would be that aliens came here and Adam and Eve were really metaphors for aliens who seeded our planet genetically. Okay, so instead of Adam and Eve being the first two human beings, Adam and Eve become metaphors for an advanced alien race that visited our planet, and they are going to return at some appointed time. Thus, we have the monuments like the Great Pyramids in Egypt, or Stonehenge, or some of the lost civilization of Atlantis, and so on. So, all these laboratories across the United States, they want to build Supermen. Hitler wanted to build Supermen with the science of eugenics. And the philosopher Nietzsche believed in the Übermensch, the Overman, the Superman. And Hitler wanted to create a master race based on Nordic, European DNA to rule the world. Well, what's happening in these secret laboratories is they're genetically tinkering with computers and DNA codes to create men and women that have the very highest intelligence, that are robust and attractive physically, that can be 12 feet tall and have enormous strength, and if they fight on the battlefield, they're super warriors because they're 12 feet tall and they have the strength of 10 men. Not to mention their intelligence quotient, which is off the charts. And these laboratories are very serious about producing these supermen. And this is being done, it's flowing out of what's called the transhumanist movement, which means transcending human DNA with either alien DNA, or if you want to be more precise, I believe demonic DNA, animal DNA, tinkering with human DNA, and then inserting into the human bloodstream millions of supercomputers in nanotechnology. And these are microscopic computers which can increase intelligence, cure disease. And so man becomes part robotic, part biological. And he's able to become a post-human, which simply means he moves beyond the present order through technology and becomes a Superman because of technology and interspecies breeding. And they're very serious about this. Ray Kurzweil, who is probably the father of the transhumanist movement, is taken extremely seriously. He's trying to preserve his body with a strict regimen of vitamins and blood transfusions, etc., so that the bodies being built in laboratories will be ready for him when his physical body begins to decay, and then they will download his consciousness out of his mind and his decaying body into a fresh new body built on his DNA code, but significantly enhanced. And the militaries of the world are creating cyborg warriors. So when we read in the book of Revelation about the king of the bottomless pit, which would be Abaddon or Apollyon, the destroyer, at first reading, this appears to be Satan and the bizarre human-like creatures with these strange attributes. They're part animal, part human. The initial response is to say that these are demonic, the locusts that they're talking about, are demonic beings. And that well could be it. That could be the primary explanation point, and there's no reason to take it any further. But it's also possible that in the last days, during the War of Armageddon, that these super soldiers, which are part human, part animal, part supernatural being, because there's no earthly words to describe them, are the result of a genetically created super warrior or cyborg that's been empowered to fight in the last day's battle. And therefore they would have originated in laboratories all across the world. And what's happening now is we see interspecies breeding going on between animal, Nephilim, or alien DNA, or fallen angel DNA, or demon DNA, and the genetic tinkering of human DNA, and nanotechnology, which is microscopic computers floating in the bloodstream, that create a super race, a master race. And you see, you've got to come to grips with this, and it's so important that the Christian community is on the cutting edge of this research, because this research has profound implications. And if we cannot address this research, not like the caboose following the locomotive, but we need to be ahead of the game, we would understand that what's really at stake here, besides the perfection of a perfect race, is that mankind is now on the verge, through transhumanist technology, post-human technology, mankind is on the verge of creating immortality in the laboratory, and that the root driving force, economically and so on, goes beyond cyborgs or superhumans or super warriors. But the very wealthy and the very elite are spending millions, if not billions, of their own money to buy immortality. They are looking for a body grown in a laboratory where they can download their consciousness and their memories, and like getting into a new car, they could live another 100, 200, 300, and eventually 10,000 years. So the driving force behind all of this, please track with me, it's about immortality. And because of the transhumanist movement and interspecies breeding, we have immortality within our grasp, scientifically invented. Do you understand the lust and the money that attracts? Mankind, through technology, is now offering to an elite group the possibility of living forever. And that is happening now, even as I speak. Now, I talk about this in my DVD series, Are You Ready for the Coming One World Government, the Coming One World Economic System, and the Coming One World Religion. I also talk about it in my brand new DVD that I'm producing now called Moon into Blood, which deals with the supernatural events leading up into the Tribulation Period. And I do a heavy-duty research on cyborgs and transhumanism and post-humanism. But that's where we're going as a civilization. We're going to develop immortality for the elite. But now we have to take it a step further. And I want you to fasten your safety belts, if you will, intellectually and spiritually, because I'm going to slam the accelerator and you're going to be pinned to the back of your seat with G-force as we go from 0 to 170 miles an hour in seconds. Now just track with me. Not only are we talking about immortality, but we're talking about the very thing that Adam and Eve were seduced by. Lucifer, what was the great seduction of Lucifer? The great seduction of Lucifer was, ye shall be as gods. I'm Paul McGuire.